Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach podcast. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach, and today in the hot seat we have Divya. And Divya says, I lost my husband last COVID, so all the marriage investment is gone for a toss. How to overcome it? And he actually was the love of my life. Now I am single mother planning to have my own architectural firm. Also, I'm confused. What is the preference? Should I become financially stable or mentally stable? I'm not able to manage both at the same time. So, Divya, the important thing to understand is that the pain that you feel, the grief that you feel from this loss has to first happen. You have to go through those stages of grief. And there are 5 normally accepted stages of grief that I'll take you through. And you see where you are in these stages. The first is denial. Denial is that first stage when you can't believe something like this has happened. It is impossible to wrap your mind around how could this possibly happen. No, it's not true. There's no way that something like this has taken place. In your case, it is somebody passing away, a very close loved one dying, right? How can you wrap your brain around that? So that is the first stage, which is denial. The next stage is anger. This is when you are angry with everything. How dare something like this happen? How can something like this happen? You're angry at the people around you. You're angry at COVID. You're angry at God. You're angry at yourself. You're just in a state of anger because this is when you are venting everything that has been over the course of time building up inside you. All that denial that has been building up inside you is now finally dissipating, and that is coming out in the form of anger. You have to release that anger. You have to feel that anger. If you suppress it, then you cannot go to that next stage, which is bargaining. Now, bargaining is a stage of grief where we say, you know what, if only I had prayed more, or if only I could do this, maybe he'll come back. And we start creating bargains with things. You know, it's harder when somebody has passed away. We do this when, for example, we end a relationship. Even when we end a relationship with somebody, we go through these 5 stages of grief. So people who have recently had a breakup, you will know that you'll have gone through denial. No, wait, this happened. You'll be angry at the person. Then you'll be bargaining, saying, you know, maybe if I change this part, will you still come back to me? And we create those kinds of bargaining. And this stage again takes place here. All right. The 4th stage is depression. This is that deep sadness, deep sadness. And depression is a state of sadness where you cannot imagine what the future can hold for you. You know, like you said, and probably still is the love of my life. That means that there is no possible future of having another love of your life in the future, right? It's that, how can life move on? That's that stage of depression. Followed by acceptance. This is when you finally reach a stage of equilibrium. You've accepted that the death has taken place. Your life is going to be like this from now onwards. There is no going back. You have to accept what your current reality is. And these are typically considered the 5 stages of grief. However, there is a 6th stage, and that is the creation phase. Okay? This is the stage when you start creating a new life. Because not only did you lose a loved one, but you also lost the life that you had. So now in the creation stage, you start creating a new life. Like you said, you're probably at this stage right now where you're starting to create a new life for yourself. You're starting to get financially stable. All those things are slowly taking place for you. And this is a fantastic place. But the only caution is make sure that you've gone through all the previous 5 stages. And it is not a rush to get through them. You know, oh, I did denial today, I did anger. No, it's not like that. It's not like you can go through all those 5 stages in one day. It takes months. It takes years. And if you haven't given yourself that time, give yourself that time. This is something big that has taken place. So even if it takes a year, takes 2 years, takes 3 years, hold yourself in compassion. This is what your soul needs right now. This is what your mind needs right now. This is what your body needs right now. Allow it to take place. There is no point rushing through this. And like I said, grief can take place for someone's death. It can take place for any form of loss that takes place, a relationship loss, even a material loss you can feel grief for. So learn these 5 stages. I'll repeat them again. There is denial. No, this could not happen. There is anger. How dare something like this happen? There's bargaining. Maybe if we do this, we can go back to how things were. There's depression. There's complete sadness, hopelessness. And then finally, there is that stage of acceptance. It has happened. And then the bonus stage, number 6, which is create your new life. Create the future. And I strongly wish all of you who are going through this get to that creating your future and understand that you have the rest of your life ahead of you. The past is the past. Let it be in the past. Now let's move forward and create a beautiful future for ourselves. All right. I hope this helped you, Divya. Now, if there is anybody else who has a question, please check out the link below in the podcast. You can send it to me. Give me a nice big description of what it is that you're going through, and I'm going to do my best to try and help you out. My name is Ashdin Doctor. I'm your habit coach. And remember, awesome lives start with awesome habits. Usually in a podcast, it's me who speaks to you and you who listens. But I've been seeing your comments, and it's time. It's me listening to you. Following the overwhelming success of this podcast, the good folks at IVM Podcast Network have decided to come up with a Kannada adaptation of the show for those who prefer listening to it in that language. Do make sure you let your Kannada speaking friends know about this as well. Now, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am at Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. We have a brand new habit coaching online course, quizzes, videos, and a lot more on the website awesome180.com. So check it out now.